Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hopefully you all are doing well today. Today is Wednesday. You have made it halfway through the week. Congratulations. So, of course, as always, we're going to take a look and see what's coming through for you. So take what resonates, leave what does not. You may be the subject to this reading. You may be a messenger for this reading, so this reading could belong to somebody else. But as always, take what resonates, leave what does not, right? Okay. I'm joined today by my spirit guides and your spirit guides. That was a really peculiar sensation. Situation? Are we dealing with the situation? Anyway, when I said joined by my spirit guides, usually I can feel them up here, not standing right behind me. That was kind of wonky. Anyway, but it is Wednesday. Hopefully you guys have survived the week. I really hope you guys are doing well. Let's see where we're going. Let's see what wants to come through with these. These are the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Underneath, we've got Time for a Nap. Okay, pretty peaceful. Grounding this energy, we've got Truth Be Told. Guiding this energy, we have Yin. Emotions coming in. Are you emotionally worn out? Never-ending story. And where you're going is Yang. So this could be for you and another person. This could be, you taking an emotional rest before you do the work. Because here we have 37 and 1. 37 is in the past. 7 plus 3 is 10. And that reverts back to 1. And then we have 1 here for the Yang. 5, 6, and 2. A part of me feels as though this is kind of like emotional exhaustion. Or just exhaustion in general. Something that you've been doing recently is wearing you out. It's causing this exhaustion. Give me these. These are talking to me today. I feel as though, and this is, I think I touched base on this energy at some point in time this week. I don't quite remember when. It was the holding space where you're being held because you're waiting for another person. This is kind of like that, but not the same storyline. It's almost like you are dealing with a situation that is never ending. And I feel as though you finally hit a point where, you're grounded in your truth. You are grounded in what you believe to be the truth. And your emotions are guiding you, which, isn't always a bad thing. But you need rest. You need rest. I feel as though you're kind of exhausted with this. We'll see where we're going with the rest of the tarot and see, what else wants to come through. It does have a similar energy to what we've done this week, but I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same situation. So where are we going with this? Underneath, we've got the Three of Swords. Right off the jump, we've got the Mage, the Ace of Wands, the King of Cups, along with the Eight of Cups here. Just underneath, there's been a lot of stress emotionally. And I feel as though this stress has not really changed you, but it's definitely given you different ideas. Different ideas to move forward. Like I said, this could be just you, or this could be you and another person. But whatever this is doing to you, on the undercurrent of things on the inside, it is changing you, and it is giving you, different passions and different inspirations, and maybe it's giving you different passions and inspirations towards somebody else. And what I mean by that is let's say, you've been dating a stereotype all your life, all right? And, back in high school or college, people fit into certain stereotypes, you know, the jock, the nerd, the musical person, the athlete, like different stereotypes, and you've kind of stick to the same stereotype, right? The same cluster of people. And I feel as though that you aren't getting very far with that particular type of person. And so I feel as though it's causing you to really contemplate, um, you know, is this really, you know, how I want to be spending my time? And I'm seeing here the different flashes of them. The different flashes of them. It's like you going from the jocks to the nerds. Somebody who uses muscle to somebody who uses their head. Or from somebody who, you know, uses their head to uses their heart theater. Like, I'm seeing, you know, jumping from one to the other. So let's see where else we're going with this. We got the King of Pentacles here. The next is the King of Wands. See what I'm saying? We're jumping from one to the other. We got the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. We got the Page of Swords, so that's the obstacle. Okay. Guarding this is the Five of Swords. Guiding this is the Eight of Wands. Past energy is the Four of Swords. Yep, healing that energy. Future energy is the Knight of Pentacles. Slowly learning that lesson. I gotcha. High Priestess, the Queen of Swords. There's the King of Swords. We have all kings on the table, and we have the Queen of Wands. So we do have royal sets here. We got the King and Queen of Swords, which appeared together. Okay. And then we have the King and Queen of Wands. So it's almost like you are tapping into that emotional side of you. And maybe, just maybe, you have been dealing with somebody or been sticking around for the people who can provide. Okay? I feel like I'm talking to somebody specific here. But anyway, generalize it however you want to generalize it. But I feel as though that you've been dealing with people on who can provide materialistic things, right? And maybe they can provide, but how are they emotionally? Because if they're busting their ass all day, every day, they may be drained at the end of the day, which means emotionally that's not up to snuff, right? And I feel as though you're starting to figure that out. Because you go from the King of Pentacles to the King of Wands to the Page of Swords. I feel like, you know, that's kind of going off in your brain. You're like, yes, you can provide me, you know, a comfortable place to be, but what about the comfort of me? The comfort of you is also important. The Eight of Wands and the Five of Swords, I feel as though you're getting these messages that are coming in that are flagging this for you. And I feel as though it is causing conflict. And, you know, maybe you've been communicating that with this other person. And that conflict is like, you know, I'm busting my ass. Like, what more do you want from me? I'm providing for you. And you're like, well, yeah, you're providing a materialistic way of life, but there's no emotional gratification out of it. That's hard. That is very hard. So we'll take a look. I feel like I'm kind of like not pulling teeth. It's like I'm sifting through something. Sifting through sand. Yeah. Anyway, Four of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So I do see, you know, you reaching out to, whether it be, you know, whether you're praying for it, whether you're meditating for it, you know, whether your intuition is just like, hey, something's not right here. There's some sort of flag that's happened in the past that's made you address all of this. It's like, that's not right here. I got warning bells going off. You know, my gut is kind of got that feeling to it. Or, you know, something in my heart doesn't feel good because everyone's intuition kind of works a little bit differently. Whatever the case may be, it's caused you to look at the situation for what it is. And I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, that lesson is starting to slowly work its way through. Now, with all of this being said, I need you to understand that I don't feel as though you are the problem. I don't feel as though you are the problem. We've got the High Priestess, the King and Queen of Swords, along with the Queen of Wands. You're not the problem right now, okay? There may be some drama, some theatrics at the end of this with the Queen of Wands. But I feel like right now you're just searching for the answers. You're searching for the truth. You know, you're trying to align your life with the intuition that you were getting. And I don't know if there's somebody else coming in with this. I don't know. I'll see if I can pull that out. I don't know if somebody else is coming through, or if you are just mentally going through, you know, okay, this didn't work, so how about this? And if this and this don't work, then how about this? And if these don't work, how about this? That's what I'm getting. So let's take a look here. Let's absolutely take a look here. Give me the Eight of Wands. Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, okay? The Page of Wands and the Eight of Swords. What page am I missing? I've got the Page of Swords, I've got the Page of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. What you're missing is the Page of Cups right now. But with the pages, you know, I feel as though you're it's not like you're trying to start anew, but you may be looking for somebody new. Is somebody offering you something? Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Page of Wands, the Eight of Swords. You may have gotten a different offer from somebody who is kind of, you know, triggering this too. Eight of Swords are the situations that, you know, you kind of put yourself in. Five of Pentacles, Chariot, and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel as though this person was kind of a reflection back to you to show you, you know, how things could be. And you may very well leave with this person. Give me the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, the lesson you're learning. The Two of Wands, the Queen of Cups. Now we have the King and Queen of Cups here. The Four of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Yeah. The takeaway from this, the lesson, what are you chewing on? The lesson here is to not leave your dog unattended or out of your sight. What are you chewing on? Oh. What are you chewing on? Goober? I know you're going through your terrible teenage years, but you're killing me, Smalls. The lesson here is to take into account what it is that you want. And I can hear some of you saying, you know, that's what kind of got me into this mess. You are correct. But now what is it that you truly want? Because obviously you have an example of what it is you don't want. So what is it now that you do want? And I feel like that's the takeaway. Figuring out what it is you don't want so you understand what it is that you do want. And then moving forward with that. Hence why we have yin and truth be told. It's figuring out what it is that you want. Queen of Wands. Three of Wands. Six of Cups. Queen of Pentacles and the World. How many royal sets do we have here? Because that's what keeps pinging off of my intuition. It's like, we have the King and Queen of Swords, King and Queen of Wands, we have the King and Queen of Cups, and the King and Queen of Pentacles. We have all four royal suits here on the table. All of them. Swords, Pentacles, Cups, Wands. For some of you, it's just a matter of picking the right one. Picking the right, are they going to be emotionally available? Are they going to, drive your passions, help you achieve your goals? Are they going to be clear and concise with you? Are they going to, give material goods? Or are you going to find somebody who's got all of this wrapped into one? It is possible. It is possible. But the Queen of Wands, I see you moving on. Moving on from past situations. To, understanding what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, and then the world is the final card, which is the endings and new beginnings. It's fixed endings and new beginnings. I feel like this kind of triggered a domino effect here with all of this. So it's like your intuition came in and was like, hey, can we talk? And then the more you talked, the more your intuition got to work, and the more that the universe got to work. And it was just like, we're while I'm talking to you, it's almost like this was the distraction to get you to move forward, to make time pass. 9 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, yeah, moving forward, 10 of Swords. It's almost like the universe killed many birds with one stone, which it can do that. It's trying to bring in abundance for you, because I feel like you've waited in this situation long enough. And then the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, it's moving you on in a new way. It's moving a new you away from the old you, from old situations. This is pretty powerful here. I think one time, I have pulled all 4 royal suits at once. This is about a match. This is about almost kind of like a match made in heaven. The perfect match. I remember talking about soulmates earlier this week. But this is like the perfect match. And I don't usually, yes, I talk about soulmates on this channel. But, as I've gone through this spiritual journey, there can be more than one match. Okay? Because that's how the universe works. And I feel as though that this individual is going to be almost like a direct reflection of what it is that you need. What it is that you need. And almost like a direct reflection of you. I'm taking all zodiac signs with me because we have all royal sets, and usually with royal sets I take the zodiac signs that come with it. So I see all 12 of you here. So this could pertain to anyone. And that's kind of what I feel like the universe is doing, is keeping your options open. So, guys, this is what I have for you. I really, really hope this helped. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, your company is well appreciated. And I will see you all again later. Bye, guys.